All right, Charlie, so we have kind of a battle of the Sappers going on tonight.
And I kind of flung this one on you.
You did.
This was not planned. Originally, we just filmed an RD1 episode where we did 2 single barrel picks, and then we were going to parade out the RD1 maple finish, which we both really enjoy. I really love. And then I was at John O's liquor store in Lexington.
Shout out to
Lexington.
John O.
Elizabethtown, Kentucky, which
one
is
of the best liquor stores.
A lot of people say it's a great store, a lot of things. So much bourbon in that store, and he's got all of the unicorn bottles and everything else. Prices may vary, but the amount of just pure single barrels and just, it was impossible to get out of there without spending dollars.
Yeah.
But
if you come to Kentucky's, you have to go to John O's.
Go, if you're in Louisville or if you're in Bardstown or wherever, go over to E-Town and go to John O's because it is a phenomenal store. And I got to meet John today. He was a super nice guy. He actually went and got this bottle for me because we were chatting and it came up that I had a channel. I don't walk into liquor stores and tell people that, but I was telling him what we were doing, and he's like, well, have you tried the short barrels? And I said, no, I've never had the privilege. I've never seen them, actually.
I haven't either, and that's one that I think Bruzel's kind of big on that short barrel.
Yeah, I'm not for sure, but he said, I've got the Sapsquatch. I'm like, well, what's the Sapsquatch? He goes, oh, it's maple syrup finish, maple finish. And I said, we're getting ready to do RD1's episode. He goes, well, I love the RD1. I was like, all right, bring it out. So that's where this one came from. So let's get into specs. So tell us about the RD1.
The RD1, I have no idea. No, this is double finished, first with maple staves. No, first with French oak staves, and then with maple staves.
Yes,
and the maple chain.
And they use the chain.
Yeah, they use the chain.
Like 2XO does.
This is 99.1 proof, 4+ years, non-age stated, $70. This is still sourced whiskey as of 2024.
99.9 proof, not 99.1. 99.
Did I say 0.1?
99.9.
I'm looking right at it. So.
Which I really love because it's 99.9.
Yeah, why is it not 100?
I don't know.
Hey,
There's a story there, and I want to know what it is.
Right. Tell them about the short barrel.
Did you tell the mash bill on that one?
70, 21, 9.
Awesome. Let's get into
rye.
this one.
Yeah.
Mash bill is 70, 21, 9. They're the same mash bill.
They're both distilled in Kentucky.
Interesting. Could it be they're from the same place?
Could it be the same juice?
This is 5 and 6 year Kentucky bourbon. The batch is 4 maple barrels and 2 double oaked barrels. Finish time is 8 months. Maple origin is Vermont. We've covered the mash bill. Source is Kentucky.
So it's actually maple syrup barrels?
Maple syrup
or
barrels.
Maple tree barrel. Okay.
No. It says maple syrup barrels and toasted barrels.
Okay.
Now, I understand that this one has nothing to do with maple syrup. I also understand that one
Go ahead.
tastes like maple syrup.
So the story on the maple
There's a story.
staves here.
Okay.
The French oak staves
Okay.
that were steeped in a patented process of pressure, oxygen, time, and temperature with maple syrup.
Okay. So there is some syrup in there.
Yes. Well, the staves were, I don't know. They did something weird with maple syrup.
Okay.
So yeah.
99.9.
This is, so no knock against RD1, but it's not quite clear exactly.
2 things. So back to this one real quick. 110 proof, 99.9. So 100 versus 110. This one gets a nod in proof. This one says Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, which means they are not adding anything into the bourbon. So however they want to do their wood magic, which is all that bourbon has left, it is all wood magic. Everything you love about bourbon comes from the wood. I am very excited for these. This one's slightly older, 5 and 6 versus 4. This one is 10 proof higher. $82.99 plus tax. $56.99
Let's find
plus
out
tax.
which one's better. We're going to start with this
Start
one,
with the
obviously,
RD1.
because this one looks lighter.
It is
Can I say something
Yes,
before we start?
You may.
So I have had this one, and I know I like it. I'm a little skeptical of this one because
Why?
one of the worst, nastiest bourbons I've ever had is Knob Creek Maple. Hate it. So I'm a little worried.
A little maple goes a long way. I love this.
This looks like honey.
It has a honey color. The trap for these is you fall into, it's just flavored whiskey. This is not flavored whiskey. This flavored whiskey. This is Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It is very oily,
That is straight up
It smells like
pancakes maple syrup. Yeah.
one of my favorite things, and I think this only comes from experience and age, is you reach that age where you just don't care anymore, and especially what people think. And one of the things that I love is when people will ask me, people that know that we have the channel and do bourbon and assume that we know what we're talking about sometimes, that I love this, they make this face like, ugh. And I love how much I love this. It smells exactly like breakfast.
A little campfire there too.
It's
All right.
smoky maple syrup, sugar, vanilla, and now I'm going to taste it.
Cheers. It's a little confusing, isn't it? Because the nose, you feel like it's going to be this heavy, dark, like, and it's very light on the palate. Mm-hmm. It's not super viscous at all, but man, it's got some really nice flavor. The palate kind of follows through with the nose. You've got the maple, you've got a little bit of like a little smokiness going on.
Are you getting it now? Because it's all at the end.
Yeah.
It's all like the front, you're like, oh, it's bourbon. It's just kind of bourbon flavor. It's just, and then.
Do you know what this tastes like?
What?
You ever get a McGriddle from McDonald's?
100%.
That's what this is.
100. Smoky, sweet, smoky and sweet. And there's, the thing that I love about this one, it's 21% rye in the mash bill. You still get a nice little rye tingle kind of front of your tongue, like not halfway back on your tongue, but pretty close. And then forward, it's just kind of that rye tingle. And then the rest of your mouth is just left to evaluate the balance of maple syrup and sugar and smoked meats and campfire and just all things delicious. It is so good.
What I love about this is it's not overwhelming. None of those flavors are overwhelming.
Nope.
It's just enough, right?
Subtle and nuanced, but even a person, you don't have to be a professional or have a really refined palate, which we don't, to enjoy that one, because the flavors do stand out enough that you can pick them out.
And it definitely has some chocolate on the finish. So one thing, when I was researching this on the website, some of the, every now and then I will take note of tasting notes.
Okay.
Because I saw one that caught my eye. It said Derby pie. Derby pie is my all-time favorite dessert in the world, hands down. Nothing beats it. Love it.
I also like Derby pie.
When I saw that, I was like,
Do you get Derby pie in this?
no.
None. This is breakfast in a bottle. This is brunch whiskey. That is 100% what that is. That's where the flavor is. That's what lingers. But it is still, what I love about it is all those flavors are there and they hang around and it has a finish, but it drinks like a proper bourbon. It has a front palate, mid, and a finish, and it lingers, and it's just so good. And it's infinitely sippable. Infinitely sippable.
Now I get Derby pie.
Shut up. On the nose?
No, I could talk myself into it.
Yeah,
No.
well, the brain
It
is a trick.
finishes with chocolate. I will give it that. But that's all right. We need to get.
All right.
I got a palate cleanse here.
On to the short barrel. Short barrel. If you've never seen them, unless you're looking in your secondary page on Facebook, started in 2021. They hit shelves in Georgia. They're based out of Atlanta. The story is that they were in Louisville in 2020. They met it's a group of friends. They met a barrel broker and said, hey, we should start a brand. 3 years later, 10,000 cases sold. They have a distillery, the old fourth distillery in Atlanta, where they are going to distill. They are still sourcing barrels, finishing barrels, and they are available in Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, and another state, which I forget. And you can find them online. They ship to 47 states. Let's get into this bad boy. Dark.
Very dark.
Yeah.
If you look at it in a bottle, of course
Yeah.
it's darker in a bottle because the way it's shaped, it looks like maple syrup in the bottle. Not quite as dark in the glass, but pretty freaking dark. Like
Boy,
that's
that is very interesting
like
in
a
the
really
glass.
dark tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's finally starting to behave like whiskey and
it
run
sticks.
down. It's
Yeah,
very viscous.
Yeah.
Here we go.
That is completely different.
Totally different.
The nose is. So, I would expect to get the nose I got from this one on this one. And I don't at all.
You know what I get from this one? This is going to be weird. Molasses or sorghum. Like that that kind of sweetness. Like, boy, I love sorghum. Do you like sorghum? I love sorghum. That's what that one nose is like. And it's pungent.
I get a little maple on this, but it's
not much.
Overwhelming. No.
I don't get much. I just get that really like that dark sweetness of
Okay. I'm intrigued now. I'm ready to get into this.
Because we've been fooled by our noses before. Cheers.
Wow. First thing is the viscosity. That is thick. It's thick as thieves.
Mouthfeel. Syrup.
Second, that's freaking good. That's like drinking. You say this a lot. It's like cocktail in a glass.
Yeah. Boy.
I'm going to shut up. I want to hear what you have to say.
Yes. More of that, please. The mouthfeel catches you off guard. Immediately, the sweetness grabs you. And you think, and that's, I think I laughed on camera. I looked at the camera and started laughing because I thought this was going to be and taste like a flavored whiskey. But the sweetness grabs you so much up front, and then it kind of lets go and gives you a more traditional bourbon. Like, okay, now you're going to get some oak, and now you're going to get a little spice, and it's very balanced. And besides that initial blast of just maple syrup, honey, every sweetness you can imagine, it's actually a really refined and really nice, easy sipping. It's got in terms of proof, like proof perfect.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because you know you're drinking a
maple's
bourbon.
Coming through more on the nose for me now and on the finish. That's kind of where I get the maple on the finish. So I'm going to say this, and I don't want to say it because people are going to say it's going to sound like an outrageous thing.
Say the weird thing.
This reminds me of 13th Colony Double Oak. I'm not saying it's as good as 13th Colony Double Oak. There's something about this that reminds me of 13th Colony Double Oak.
I'll tell you exactly what that is. It is that thing in your brain that says there's no way you make whiskey taste like that without putting something in it.
That's probably what
That's what it is.
Like,
it tastes, golly, that's good on the second drink. I'm sorry, I got distracted. I'm going to go back to your 13th Colony thing.
Which brings me, this is made in Georgia, right?
It is bottled in Georgia.
Okay. Oh, it's Kentucky.
It's straight Kentucky. Straight Kentucky whiskey.
Strike that.
70-21-9 on the mash bill.
Man,
that is on the second drink. There is so much less sweetness, and now the bourbon really comes through.
The oak.
And you get really nice oak, but it's almost, this is going to sound so weird, it's almost sweet oak. It's like you get that oakiness, the heaviness on your palate, but that sweetness kind of dances around it, and there's some rye spice that comes through. Sweet, oaky, spicy. Yes, please, more.
So which one do you like better?
Fudge.
It's funny because they're two different animals. They really are.
I'm going to go back to this one. I'm not palate cleansing. I'm just going to see, does it hang? Oh my gosh. McGriddle! McGriddle!
That is straight up what
McGriddle.
Even the blueberry comes through a little bit. Like, I will say this is more traditional bourbon.
Okay, yes. After drinking this one and completely destroying my palate and all of my flavor receptors, this one is more, I get more of the, that's 4-year Kentucky bourbon, and all of that maple finish and McGriddle flavor is now on the finish. That's the only place it shows up. I don't necessarily, I know this is not a fair fight. This is, how many barrels is this? This is a 6-barrel batch. And this is a very limited run. This you can find on the shelf any place RD1 is available.
Both very good.
Both excellent. They're both must-buys. I'm not a fan of John O's because now we're going to have to go back and explore the world of short barrel. In terms of which one I enjoy better.
I feel like my lips should be sticky right now.
Dude, it is.
And I will say this is, if you've ever tried Knob Creek Maple and hated it like me, neither of these are anything like it. right? I'm gonna sit here and watch.
That's dumb.
That's a great. So okay, let's rate these.
Okay.
Which one do you want to rate first?
I'm going to start here.
Okay.
Do you want me to rate both, or are we going to go one at a time?
Let's go one at a time.
Okay. I like this one because it is readily available. It is typically under $60, and I just love the way that bourbon makes me feel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never not in the mood to have a little pour of that, and I think it harkens. It's kind of like the 1910, right? Like, you know what you're getting. It's like a warm blanket. It's just like, oh, bourbon and sweetness and vanilla.
You comment, he's not saying it tastes like 1910.
I'm not saying it's 1910, but it's the same thing. If you just want something sweet and flavorful, I really like this one. I'm going to go stupid here. I'm going to give this one a 7.25.
Oh.
Because for me, I think it's a must buy. I really love. I have been in love with that bottle since the Bourbon Festival.
So I was going to give that a 7.5. I expected you to give it a little less.
See, well, I was going to go higher, and I thought you were going to go lower.
I think for the price.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
I think this is, if you don't like syrup or McGriddles, this is not for you.
Yeah.
But I love this bottle. I cannot wait to experiment with this.
That nose is.
Our friends.
I just love that nose. It's heavenly.
So I'm going to throw something in here. Our friends at Elevated Mixers, which if you haven't been on Elevated Mixers to see their cold pressed organic mixers, make sure to go and use So Into Bourbon as the code and get 20% off. They are releasing a maple old fashioned mix. What if we get that and make an old fashioned with that and go maple to the extreme?
I fear I will not like that at all.
I fear I will love it too much. I don't see a problem with it.
I feel like that's too much maple.
I don't care. There's no such thing. So I really like that one.
Rate that one.
You go that one first. I went first on that one.
8.
8.25. That's an 8.25. That is 110 proof, delicious Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey that is filled with magic. That's an 8.25.
The only thing that keeps me from giving it higher is the fact that all the finishes and all that. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what keeps me from giving it a higher score is the drinkability of it. And what I mean by that is
You'll drink it too fast.
Well, quite the opposite. It is so sweet and delicious that I feel like, and this is more about me and less about other people. I think other people may have that problem of I'm just going to drink the whole thing. As I get older, like I'll have that, like you satisfy your sweet tooth and it's like, oh, I need something else. Like I got to get that sweetness. That is so good, but it's an 8.25.
Dude.
Short barrel, well done. Salute.
The more I smell,
Dude,
I don't know why, but my brain is connecting this to 13th Colony 00. Like,
how often do you see me pour again on camera?
That's so good. So good. It's like you said, a cocktail in a glass.
This is
in a bottle.
This has been such a great episode. Thank you to John O's.
Yes.
I just happened to stop in there and strike up a conversation, and I told him what we were doing, and this worked out better than I could have imagined. What a comparison. The exact same mash bill, both double finished. Thank you, John O's.
Yes.
Thank you,
And
Short Barrel.
don't forget to like and subscribe here on YouTube. Check us out on socials. So Into Bourbon on Instagram and Facebook. Whiskey Realtor on TikTok. Oh, yeah. And we're on X. So Into Bourbon on X. Charlie's having a moment over here. And Charlie, tell them what else to do.
See you at the Waffle House. No. Can we go to Waffle House?
I'm already at the Waffle House.
Keep your wallets loose.
And your bone holes.
Good night, everybody.
Peace out.
Maple syrup.
RD1's got the pop, baby.
Popping cork.
Move, biatch. Get out the way.
Risky. Risk it for the biscuit. What do you think? No. Maple.